If you're a woman with greater goals than just being a housewife and staying quiet, I preach that you stay single. This is a totally different type of content that I usually make, but actually maybe this might be the most interesting content that you get from me. I'm gonna share with you the unique perspective of what it's been like to not need a man or to want a man in the last 10 years. I've been a single mother for the last 10 years, and I've been very committed to raising and providing, supporting my own children. So a man was far from the picture of what I really want. But patriarchy has conditioned these men to believe that I am someone easy, and this is why I saw many shadow aspects of men that you, as a woman or as a partner, a wife, trust that he will be on his best behavior. You think that he is the way he is when he steps out of the house, the way he is at home. And many of you women would be so patriarchally brainwashed that you would blame a woman if a man looks around. You need to wake the hell up, because you are a fake feminist if that's what you're thinking. You're also a fake feminist if you dare to question your mother if, after decades of marriage, she accused your father of cheating on her. Because you were sold and brainwashed by your daddy, who has sold you this picture of the rare man who has committed to be the best provider for the family. I'm gonna shatter all your illusions by sharing with you my experiences dealing with married men in the last 10 years of being a single mother. There are several other things that we have to consider before we move on. The fact that I'm an Asian female who looks young for her age, which means that I've always been at the top of the desire and fetish for an average man when it comes to dating, sex, and relationships. There are two situations where you really see the true face of a man. First of all is when you have a baby with them, when you're very vulnerable. What is he like to you? If you have to wait until you have a baby to observe him for a couple of years of how he treats you to find out who he really is, that's not ideal, okay? You already have a baby with that person. I can attest to you from firsthand my own experience that having a baby with somebody who doesn't respect your rights, who doesn't understand your needs, who thinks they can go behind your back and do something and everything is fine if nobody finds out, that is not an ideal situation a man to be tied to for the next 20 years or so until your baby grows up. That's a huge amount of your life. Plenty of opportunity and potential loss. You have to ask yourself, do you really want to do that? The second situation is how he treats somebody who is less privileged. Let's say a service worker, a waiter, bartender, people like that. But also somebody in a more vulnerable position societally. And me as a single mother, as a woman of color, as an Asian female, I am that person. To them, in their mind, in their own conscious biases, I am less privileged than them. Even if I may have a better career or I have more money, that privilege and hierarchy is already painted in their mind. My take is that every single man cheats. He knows what he's doing. And when I say he cheats, I'm not talking about sexual relations. I'm talking about intimacy with somebody who's not your wife, not your partner, not your girlfriend. When I say intimacy, these are conversations. These are moments of connection, moments of feeling understood, and doing that over and over again, not just one time, on a regular basis. When there is no sex, these men convince themselves that they're not cheating, and they keep doing it. But what they're actually doing is that they're using this woman to fulfill that intimacy that they're not able to have with their wife because of their own blocks, because of their own issues, their trauma, their lack of communication skills, the suppressed emotions, which actually needs to be resolved through therapy or a pay service, which is a pretty simple solution if a man dares to have the self-awareness that he needs therapy, like everyone does, right? To resolve some of these suppressed emotions, not being able to connect and trust, or to reveal this vulnerable part of himself. The way that most men are conditioned under patriarchy is that they're not able to go there because they've been taught to repress their emotions for so long. And that vulnerability is a weakness, so they find a different way of releasing that because they're not able to do that with their wife. A lot of times it is also because these men don't know how to choose the right partner, and they end up with the wrong type of partner for themselves, meaning their values and goals are not the same. They cannot connect with that person, because we know this with friendships, right? You are able to connect with certain types of people, but you can't connect with certain other types of people, and that's considered normal. And sure, yeah, you do you and go find a person that you really connect with. But a lot of these men do not make decisions, the most important life decision of finding a partner based on similar categories. So then they're in this relationship and now they're tied, and they're looking for someone else that they can have that connection with. And lo and behold, they find somebody like that and they cheat emotionally. Now that's only a subset of the problem, because I've had many of these married men or men with long-term girlfriends try this with me. And at first I didn't understand, because we're not taught these things ever. My father was never faithful, but he was an outwardly clear type of guy. And so if you have a guy like that is very transparent, you're actually, even though it hurts, you're in a group of people, a group of women that are more so on the blessed end, because now you can make a decision based on all the things that you do know. The women in a tougher situation, though, in my opinion, are women who are with the nice guy, who are deceiving them by painting this picture that he is a good guy and that he will never betray her. So she's basically being blindsided the whole time. I honestly think that's much worse, because you have to know where you stand. You have to understand what is the situation that you're in. What are you accepting and not accepting? In a situation like this, where the guy plays a nice guy, he's deceptive. His mask is so well curated that you don't know what you're dealing with. And I think that deception and betrayal is the worst of all. I'm gonna tell you a real life situation that I encountered, where a man came on to me. He pursued me. I wanted to make sure that he wasn't committed to anyone. I asked him over and over again, and he said no, that he wasn't committed to anyone. It turned out he was lying. And when I found out that he was lying, it wasn't because he told me. It's because I had to go out of my way to do research for many months, because it was really hard to do research on this person. A lot of smart people like this, they keep all their social profiles locked down. They don't have any information that is private online. I felt there was something off, that something wasn't adding up. So I had to go out of the way to do research, to call them out. The type of person who did this is somebody that you would never, ever expect. So you have to wake the hell up, look at your nice husband, look at your nice partner, and question everything. But also ask yourself, what do you really want? Did you really want to have this? Is your life's purpose having a guy? Or do you have your own dreams? And you could be channeling all that energy to create that, because your career, your life purpose, whatever that is never gonna leave you. It's never gonna change your mind and say, you know what? I found someone younger. You know what? I found someone more interesting, or someone who I feel connected to more, that the intimacy cheating. So many people have asked me why I keep staying single, friends, family, for a long time, for the last 10 years. There is pressure. There's this pressure to be paired up. It's because I can't trust anymore. And the thing is, I was never cheated on by my ex-partner. We had other issues. We never cheated on each other. That was never the issue. That's why I never realized how prominent this problem was until I was put in a position where these men start to view me as less than and vulnerable and easy. So take it from me, I am not your enemy. I am pro-women. Everything I do in my life is about empowering women. And I only share this kind of story, even though it puts me on the risk of scrutiny. Hey, you were talking to this married man. Ask yourself why you would even think that. How patriarchally brainwashed are you? Because the moment I find out somebody is a married man, like it recently happened, I tell them right off the bat, I don't want to do this because this is not right unless your wife is involved. I am very, very upfront about that stuff. And the moment a man says, okay, he's good, okay? I have come across those men, rarely though, rarely. To be honest, one time in the last 10 years, one time, and that happened recently. That's a respectful situation where the moment we started talking, he was honest about revealing his wife, okay? But that doesn't always happen. Once in 10 years, I tell you. But at the same time, that person isn't free from the risk of cheating. Because if I was a type of woman who didn't care about that and didn't see conversations as cheating, which at a point in time, I didn't realize that was cheating because I was young. None of us are taught these things. The thing is, that person still is at a risk of doing that. I have a very easy explanation as to why we have this societal problem now. And you're a part of it. And you're gonna have to cope with it as a woman, especially if you are a woman who wants to have a family, you wanna have children. That the society isn't the way it is anymore because we women, now we have financial power and men have become optional. Your mother, your grandmother, your auntie never had that. So you can compare them having gotten married at an early age and having had a long-term forever relationship to your life situation. You just can't. The conditions are not even the same between your situation and what your mom, your aunt, your grandmother had to live through. It's not just financial power that women have. It's not just the fact that men have become optional. This changes everything, and women are slow to wake up to this. Men have privilege the moment they're born. That is patriarchy. It doesn't matter what condition they're born in. What matters is relativity to the people surrounding them. If you're a man born in an impoverished area, you still have a better chance than a woman born in the same situation. So if he had a sister. This is true no matter where you are in the world. If you're born into privilege, let's say the royal family, the male still has more privilege than the female, let's say the prince to the princess. It doesn't matter. This is how patriarchy works. It's just like in racism, because this is all about power and power hierarchy and structure. So if you have a white person who's born in a poor area, that person cannot compare themselves and say, boo-hoo, I'm in the same situation as this black woman. No. Or even a black man. No. Because the moment you clean yourself up and walk into an office building, somebody might give you an opportunity. Whereas somebody who's underprivileged will not have the same impact and effect or the opportunity to change their life so easily. So we're talking about male privilege here that is inherently given. I have a son and a daughter. I saw this play out so clearly in front of my eyes. And it was not a nice thing to see, but this is how society, even family members, would treat them differently. So then you have to ask yourself, if we want equity, we need these privileged people to open their eyes and say, you know what, this hasn't been fair. Let's create justice around this. But who is willing to give up their power, their privilege to want equity? How many people who are extremely wealthy are willing to give it all away to create an equal society? Nobody. How many white people will say, truly, you know what? I have this privilege. I want to give it away. I truly want to fight for equity. Even all these people who are campaigning for racial equity, the moment you take their privilege away, they may change their mind. That's how things are. So you're expecting a man to respect, care for all your needs and wants, to treat you like a princess, to do this and that, because he's putting on this nice face when he's had privilege all his life, no matter what the birth order has been or family situation has been. What you're expecting has been a fairy tale fantasy, and the faster you wake up from this, the happier and more balanced you're going to be. You're going to stop killing yourself from this invisible anxiety, from this fear of being blindsided. Your mind is picking up on something. Your intuition is picking up on something, that this could be coming, or that no matter what relationship you're in, this is always going to be a problem that you're going to have to deal with. And you're not wrong. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, because you know what it feels like to be underprivileged just for being a woman. Some of you are in a better position because of socioeconomic background, because of your race. Sure, but it doesn't change the fact that when you pair up yourself with a man, there's going to be a power imbalance just because he's been trained to think of himself as better, as more privileged, to have entitlement. That already changes the whole game. The fact is that that you're earning more than him, that you're older than him, that you have a lighter skin tone than him, that doesn't change the fact that he feels male privilege. Absolutely not. It can, to some level, balance things out a little bit in terms of power dynamics in a relationship. But it does not cancel out the fact that he feels entitled, a natural entitlement that he's been bred with the moment that he was born. Beware of nice guys. I've done a lot of work healing my own father wounds. Like I mentioned, he was a very outwardly toxic masculine guy. But the last 20 years of doing my own inner work, of healing my own father wounds, is that I learned to appreciate him more because he was transparent. I mean, he did lie, cheating is lying, but he was transparent. It was really obvious. He didn't cover his tracks that well. And it's almost like that was an entitlement for him, is that I'm just gonna say one thing, but you're gonna see something else. And then so you're gonna believe the evidence, but I'm too entitled to cover the tracks. That's how he was. And my father would never say something like, I'm a nice guy. He would never say something like, trust me. But these guys do. And those are the guys that you need to be aware of. Those are the guys that you think that you're not gonna get the same experience because they're nice. They seem to treat people well. They seem to have a heart of charity. Power does things to people. It's not money that changes people, it's power. You give these people more power, they have more entitlement. And they already have entitlement in their situation with you. I have countless married and partnered men come on to me to the point that I don't even want to do online dating because I don't want to be filtering through that. When I meet somebody in real life, I can question them all I want. But the truth is that they can always lie to me for a really long time. And then I become part of some cheating scam, some sleazy bullshit, and I don't want to have it. Because of the unconscious biases of these men, of how they view me as easy, they can get away with things. Maybe nothing will happen. She'll be somebody I can dump all my trauma on. Because she's Asian, she's a woman, she must be empathic, giving. She has kids, so that means she probably can't find something better. But do I want to find something better? Do I want that? That's not something that they even get. Oh, so you don't want a man. Okay, that's even better, no strings attached. Literally, this is how their mind works. That's your husband, your partner, your boyfriend, and I'm giving you a reality check. I'm telling you that I can't even go to the grocery store or the mall, to the doctor, to the dentist, without having this follow me around the last 10 years. I can't even go get a professional service without the risk of some married or partner man coming onto me, at the very least, using me for intimacy, not just sex. But of course, the sex can follow that. If you're following my channel, you're already somebody who wants to create change. You're already somebody who has this fire, this inner fire, desire, purpose to create something. I urge you to just follow that. Make that happen. That can't be taken away from you. Your career can't betray you. And instead of questioning other women when it comes to a betrayal situation, question the man. Ask yourself, what kind of woman are you being? Because your behavior, your thoughts, your actions really impact where this feminism is going to go. And it's not about intelligence. It's not about you getting an education. It's not about you becoming successful in your career only that's going to propel the feminism. It's about how women have to stop seeing each other as competition and instead start collaborating. That is true feminism, because patriarchy has trained women to have scarcity mindset, to compete for a man. That's patriarchy, because in patriarchy, women were powerless. They didn't have financial power. They couldn't survive on their own. Now we can. So now we have to catch up our mindset to match that. What do you think of this video? I would love to know your thoughts. It's very different from my usual content, but if you like this stuff, I will post more. Let me know in the comment section. Again, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. It's Julia Cha. See you in my next video.